I'm Rebecca Grossman, and I'm the CEO here at the Scottsdale Area Association of Realtors, and it's wonderful to see all of you. I'm excited to introduce our first presentation, Our New Normal and Embracing Your Greatness with Dena Patton. Dena Patton owns an award-winning coaching and training company and is a global speaker as a leading voice on the topic of greatness mindset and empowerment. Along with her best-selling book, The Greatness Game, her coaching and training services have changed the lives of thousands of business owners who are building epic things they never dreamt were possible. She is the co-founder of the Girls Rule Foundation, a 501c3 that focuses on empowering girls in self-esteem, leadership, and financial skills. She spends her personal time with her daughter, husband, or puppy Archie. She has been featured in over 90 media stories, including CNN, Entrepreneur Magazine, First Women, NBC, and Business Journal, and has received 9 prestigious business awards. Welcome, Dena.
Can you hear me?
You bet.
All right. Great. So, do I just tell you when to switch my slide? Is that?
Yes, just say next and I'll control it for you.
Okay, great. Awesome. So, I just want to take a deep breath. Besides being Amazon Day, many of us started school, official school today. So my daughter is back to school for the first time in 7 months. It is a new normal, you guys. So, and today is a day 1 of our full house remodel. So it is just so ironic that we're talking about a new normal and everything fell onto this day. So deep breath. You guys are in for an amazing day today with all the speakers and just the connections with each other. So first and foremost, I always want to say thank you to Cindy. I adore Cindy. I also thank the Women's Council of Realtors. I see so many familiar faces, Shauna and Lynn and so many others. And of course, Stacy Krolak is not only a client, but a dear friend of 12 years. So I just love you guys. Thank you for having me. And let's get started. So slide. All right. So why I want to start off with my purpose, my mission, and my values. First and foremost, I am transparent and authentic. Second of all, this is what gives me everything. This is what really is the context of my entire business and my being. So my purpose is to help people discover their purpose and unleash their highest potential so they can do epic, epic things with their life. My mission is to inspire and educate people worldwide to live, love, and lead from their greatness mindset. And then these are my values: inspiration, authenticity, fun and energy, boldness, integrity, connection, and God. And this is the thing, distraction doesn't have a chance when we're standing on purpose. So everything that I say today is aligned to these 3 things. I am passionate about business owners leading from their greatness. So I just always want to be really upfront with really the context of how I teach and what I'm doing here. So slide. This is a first that I'm not in control of my own slide. That's a new normal. So I want you to look at this graphic. If you notice the very first bubble at the bottom where the roundabout starts, it starts with the executive vision and leadership. In 20 years of coaching leaders and business owners, what I know for sure is everything about your business starts with you. It's your mindset, it's your beliefs, it's your leadership that drives everything else. Everything about your business, how you do your financials, how you do your marketing, how you connect with your target market, how you do your sales, admin, customer service, quality assurance, all of those things are rooted in your mindset, in your vision, in your leadership. So today, slide, we're going to focus, given that, we're going to focus on 3 things that are going to really help you create your new normal and embrace your greatness. We are going to have some time at the end for question and answer. So if you do have questions, just jot them down and we will get to them at the end. So the first thing I want to do is just everybody take a deep breath, get grounded, because one of my commitments is to teach these concepts so that you are unleashed, that you really leave this talk with new possibilities. And this talk is not for everybody. It's for you that, some of you need a little kick, and maybe it is a calling back to your greatness. Some of you might be attached to smallness or safety because it's a little crazy world right now, right? And we can get addicted to the safety. But I'm just going to be committed to my purpose, to teaching you ways of getting out of the safety game and back into your greatness and back into your boldness and back into the impact and the income that you want to make. So take from this talk what you want and trash the rest. Really, I want you to take one or two things that can change everything and trash the rest. You don't need everything, right? I believe that. Okay, so 3 reasons, right? Number 1 reason is your future needs you. Your past doesn't. Your past does not need you. But this is the thing, it keeps calling us, right? Have you ever noticed, like, your past keeps calling you? Your old self keeps calling you to old habits. And so we need an interruption to say, no, old self, old habits, you don't serve me. I'm creating a new future, right? That's based in my greatness. So your future needs you. It needs you now to have a new mindset, a new vision, a new habits that support your new self versus your past. So I have a saying, well, there is a saying that I love: when your past calls, hang up. It doesn't have anything new to say, right? We want to grab those lessons from our past, because our past, even if you have really painful things in your past or bad jobs or bad relationships, there's gold lessons in it. And what I want you to do is grab those golden lessons, because your future needs those lessons. Those are so valuable. And take those lessons, bless and release your past, and then turn towards your future with those lessons. And let's start creating a new future with those lessons. So the key thing here is to start creating your new future with greatness games. And if you follow me on social media or if you've read my book, you know it's my favorite thing to help people in, and that is creating greatness games. Okay, so smallness leaders get caught up in the past and in circumstances and situations and drama and fear. Greatness leaders keep their eyes on the future, their eyes on the greatness game, their eyes on the ball, right? That's one of the biggest distinctions between smallness leaders and greatness leaders. Slide. Number 2 reasons to get you out of your comfort zone. We've been in our comfort zone for definitely 7 months, but we might be in our comfort zone for many, many years, right? It depends on where you are in your life. I want you to start playing greatness games and be the leader that you are born to be. I truly believe that we are born with greatness, and I'm going to get to that. Born with greatness. And our greatness and our gifts are meant to be out in the world. But what happens is we get so compelled by our comfort zone and our smallness that we stay in that comfort zone because it's safe and it's secure. But what I'm really going to push you today to start playing a bigger game of greatness and trusting yourself. It's a little scary, a little uncomfortable, but we get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's where the magic happens. So your mental toughness, your greatness game, that's what always sets the tone for your income and your impact. We never outsell our mindset. I want to say that again. We never outsell our mindset. So if our mindset is based in smallness, like I can only make $100,000 a year, or I could never sell $1 million properties, or whatever those smallness statements are, we'll never outsell that. We sell at the level of our mindset. So when we elevate our mindset, we elevate our revenue, we elevate our impact, we elevate our leadership. All those boats rise. So if you're truly someone with big goals, you want big impact, big leadership, big income, and you have big dreams. Maybe there's some personal dreams. You know you have them. You just can't make them happen. And this is why. Our mindset is here and our dreams are here. There's a big gap there, right? So that dream might be out of the realm of possibility for your mindset. But when we break through our mindset and start living from greatness, we all of a sudden make that dream happen. So, and I'm going to share a few stories about that because people, it's just a concept of like, wait a minute, you change your mindset and all of a sudden you're making 5 times more money. Yep. That's how it happens. So good. Smallness mindset creates smallness results. Greatness mindset creates greatness results. So I want to do a little test here. So everybody get your fingers ready. You're going to go in the chat and I want to ask you this question. And I actually changed this question this morning because I was in, mode of getting my daughter to school and I was thinking about students. So here's the questions. List one thing that an A student does to get A's. It could be mindset, it could be habits, it could be behaviors, it could be anything. List one thing. How does a student get A's? Discipline, study, consistent behaviors, preparing, follow through, knows the teacher, consistency, sleep. Ooh, good one, love that. Spend time studying, focus, engages with the content. Yes, engages, researches, prepares, reviews the days. Oh, yes. Review the day's work before bedtime. Time management, absolutely. Learns an instrument. Ooh, that's a good one. Sits in front, right? Asks questions, that engagement. So what I want to point out here, yes, they have goals. Big one, focus, big one. Thank you. So A mindset, I'll bet you those people who have A's, they want A's. They have an A mindset, then they have A behaviors, and then they get A results. Follow me there? So now I want you to put in the chat, what do D students do that causes D grades? So put that in the chat. Nothing. That's a good one. Nothing. Don't care. Procrastinate. Good one. Wing it. Yes. Distracted. No focus. Procrastination. Big one. Video games. Stay up late. Don't do homework. No effort. Lazy. No support. Ooh, doesn't create that support system. Discouraged. Absolutely. So I want to make a point here. So let's move that into the business world. Do you know business owners that have D mindsets, D behaviors, D habits, but they want the A? They want the $1 million business, right? It happens all the time. They have the D behaviors, the D habits, the D mindset, but I want to make $1 million this year. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You got to shift into those A mindsets, A behaviors, A habits to get the A result. So does that make sense? I would just say yes or no, just so I know. This is the part of speaking on Zoom that, yes, okay, good. It's landing. All right, good. So this is a really important concept of moving out of our comfort zone, right? So there's some D behaviors, D habits, D mindsets that you have. We all do because it's comfort, right? I'm going to challenge you to get out of your comfort zone and start to take that behavior or that mindset or that habit that's pulling your business down, pulling your income down, and shift that to an A behavior, an A habit, a greatness habit, as I say. Okay, next slide, number 3. Biggest thing I see, I promise you guys, 20 years of doing this, I see this ruin more leaders and more companies, and it's overwhelm. Overwhelm creates burnout. It also creates divorce. It creates death and disease. Stress is the root cause of burnout and costs US businesses $300 billion in lost productivity every year. So there's these 7 signs of burnout over here to the right. You can start to see, like, whoa, this is not just me being tired. Like, I'm actually burnt out, right? That's different. And as women, we have to really, that authenticity, like, tell on ourselves of saying, I'm not tired, I'm actually working myself to death, right? That's a big distinction. And I'm really, really passionate about this because of my own story around this. I had big dreams. And at 22, I moved from Phoenix to New York City. Never been there, didn't know anybody. And I took my $1,500, I sold my furniture in my apartment, moved to New York City, and I was going to make it in New York City. And at 24, I started my own PR and marketing firm, did gangbusters. I sold that business to a tech business at 27. We built a multi-million-dollar web and tech business out of that. And it was like Sex in the City every day, just like amazing, fun, fabulous. And then at 28, I had a minor stroke. And that time, I got myself a coach. And the very first thing that we distinguished was I didn't know anything about boundaries. I didn't know anything about self-care. I didn't know anything that protected me. So what was the big lesson for me was understanding what workaholic looked like. I didn't even have that distinct. So I could actually course correct it. And this isn't about shame or being wrong. It's just sometimes you don't know, you don't know. You just think, I just thought, oh, I'm working late. But after 3 years of doing that, working 16 hours a day, I almost killed myself. So I had to learn to speak again and get myself back on track. And I was just doing that when 9/11 happened. And I worked in the towers 3 days a week. And I was near the towers. And it was crisis, recovery on top of crisis. And sometimes that happens in our life. Maybe there's a death, and then there's COVID, and then there's all this crisis that stresses our system, right? And we go into overwhelm and burnout and then disease. So I'm super passionate about business owners really taking care of themselves. And it takes, discipline and courage to say, no, I can't go to that. I promised myself I was going to sleep in this Saturday, or I'm going to go to the gym and take care of myself. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But these are the 3 biggest reasons to create a new normal. We are in crisis. We are in a chaotic time. But what we can control is our self-care, our mind, body, and spirit. So, slide. Let's change the game and create a new future with greatness games. So I'm going to just ask you in the chat, has anybody had an aha, an insight, a, breakthrough yet? Say yes in the chat. Usually in speeches, good. I give everybody stickies, 3 stickies, and my intention is you have 3 ahas, breakthroughs, or insights by the end of the speech. So that's my way of having people write down that. So thank you for letting me know that. Good. All right, slide. Let's get going on this. Let's first and foremost, slide, hit it a couple. There we go. There you go. So let's understand what smallness and greatness is. They are 2 voices that we were all born with, first and foremost. We all have them. The objective of smallness is to survive. I just wanted you to get that. The objective of smallness is to survive. The job of smallness is to feed us messages that disempower and derail us so that we agree and stay in our comfort zone. So we survive. The whole game is survival. So when you know that, know better, do better, right? The objective of our greatness voice is to thrive. The
Dena?
job of our greatness is to feed us messages of courage that empower us so we thrive in our highest potential and fulfill our purpose. So we've all had moments where that smallness just disempowers us and we go, oh, I can't do that. I can't jump off that cliff. I can't make that big, huge leap in my business or up level my marketing or start to speak on stages or get a book done. No, right? And we shrink back. And then we have these moments of like huge greatness. So we have both, and we have both going on. But the power comes from you choosing. You choosing which one you're going to listen to every day changes the entire game. Instead of just default, which one gets to play, you get to say which one gets to play. And when you start living and leading your business and your life from greatness every single day, and you start choosing it, choice is power. You choose it, you choose it, you choose it, you choose it. It changes the game. Slide.
Dena, can I just, excuse me,
Yeah.
Dena,
Yep.
when you're moving your papers, I think they're brushing up against your microphone. I just want to let you know.
Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So, how you start to create a new future is your choice of which one you're gonna listen to every single day. So that choice. But how we do that is we have to understand smallness and why it's there. It's not good enough just to shut down and crush your smallness every single day, because that's more force versus choice. So I want to really unpack this because it's so powerful. I spent 15 years studying mindset and researching greatness. And it all comes down to these 5 smallness messages. The smallness feeds us. So 5 ways smallness feeds us messages that disempower and derail us. And I call it PDFOD. So P, perfection, D, doubt, F, fear, O, overwhelm, and D, distraction. So maybe there's 1 or 2 of those that you're like, oh my gosh, yes. Distraction for sure, right? Overwhelm, like I'm constantly living in overwhelm, 10 years of overwhelm, right? And you can't get free of it. It's because smallness knows. It just knows it's the thing that makes you play small because you're always overwhelmed. It plays us. You know, I don't know if you guys have ever, remembered when you had a 2 or 3-year-old running around your house. It might have been your nieces or nephews or your son or daughter. And when they're 2 or 3 and they start to get tricky, they know how to manipulate you. And then all of a sudden you realize, oh my gosh, she is totally playing me, right? And you realize that she knows what she's doing. It's not just a cute little 2-year-old. Smallness is like that. Smallness is this little manipulative messaging that throws these messages out, and we agree with it and we shrink back into comfort zone and we wonder, why can't I make this income? Why can't I be this leader that I want to do? Or why can't I build the team I want? Slide. So the key, I wanted just to give you I want you to look on this and which one really is the one that you hear the most. Is it those messages of perfection? Is it the messages of doubt? Read these, and these are just examples. But sometimes when we hear stories or see examples, you're like, oh my gosh, yes. So put in the chat, which one are you most relating to? Is it doubt? Is it distraction, confusion? Is it perfection? You can do it privately or to everybody, doesn't matter. This is a really big concept. I coach people over months and months. So I want to unpack it enough that you get it, that you can actually take it and use it in your business today and start creating a new future for yourself. Perfection. the squirrels. Distraction's such a big one. But know better, do better. When we know how that 2-year-old was manipulating us, we know how to cease it. Same thing with smallness. When we know how it plays us, we could go, oh, no, you don't serve me today. I'm not playing that anymore. All right, good. So what's really important about this is when you have a breakthrough in the barrier that is robbing your power, everything becomes possible. So this gentleman down here on the right, he is one of my clients, and I want to just tell you a story about him because it's one of those where all of a sudden he got a hold of his doubt and fear, and it exploded his business. He was a school principal for 23 years. He realized he was really good at turning around schools. So he started consulting schools, and the failing schools, he started to, all of a sudden within 2 years, that school would be a thriving school. And he thought, maybe I should do that instead of being a principal. So he started his own business and started coaching and consulting schools. And he was doing about $8,000 in sales per month. But he had so much doubt and fear because he came from academics. He didn't really know how to have a sales system and how to have a clear marketing system and really how to work that authentically. And we did. We worked on it for about 8 months. He got really comfortable in his narrative and how to explain his business. And he went from $8,000 a month to $200,000 a month in just this, you guys, just understanding his doubt and fear and how that was playing him and keeping him really scared. He didn't want to call on schools. He just kind of let it, like, word of mouth is good. Word of mouth is great. But when you have a marketing and sales system that really works, you can serve more people. He's now transforming and reaching and impacting tens of thousands of students and teachers instead of a few hundred, because he got out of his own way. He knew how smallness was playing him, transformed it, and started playing greatness games. Okay, this is the big thing slide. Is no one tells us that we have the choice. When I started to really understand this, I kind of felt like punked. It was like, wait a minute. No one's told me that I have a say in creating greatness, listening to greatness, leading from greatness. But this is the thing. I'm telling you now. I'm training you now. Your life starts now. You've had 2 chapters. You have 2 chapters in your life story. Today, in the past, from the past, and today forward. And what it's all about is starting new today and creating a new future with these tools. So starting to come out of agreement with those smallness statements, right? If you've ever heard of Mel Robbins' TED Talk, 5-second rule, there's science behind so let me explain, is when you hear those negative thoughts, those smallness thoughts trying to manipulate you and say, no, you can't go out and pitch that $1 million house or build that team. How in that moment, literally in that moment, do you turn down that smallness and listen to your greatness and go take action? 5-second rule. So you have 5 seconds. When you hear that smallness, you have 5 seconds to take some small positive action, and it shuts it down. It is so powerful. So every time you hear your smallness, you turn it down, you do not serve me, and you get in some kind of positive action. Just that one habit, I promise you, if I checked in with you a year from now, you're gonna make more money than you are now because of that one new tool. So coming out of agreement. So when smallness feeds us negative messages, we have about 5 seconds. Turn it down, turn up our greatness, or do anything in positive action. I like to turn up my greatness. Like, what would my greatness say? My greatness would say, go do this, and I go do it. And this has to do with your business, but also your money management, your debt game, your health game, anything that you are creating in your new normal. So just a review on this, we want to listen to your greatness, we want to turn down your smallness, and we want to come out of agreement with those smallness statements that we're being fed. So what I mean by come out of agreement. So maybe there's, we all have parents that had their own money relationship. Some people had dysfunctional money relationship. And we heard 1,000 times in our childhood, money doesn't grow on trees. People like us don't have money. All of those narratives as parents, our outside voice becomes our children's inside voice. So when you heard 1,000 times, people like us don't have money, or we don't have money for that, all of a sudden that becomes your narrative of your money, right? Until you learn a new narrative, a greatness narrative called there's unlimited money. I can earn anything I put my mind to, right? New belief system creates new actions, creates new results, okay? So I know that I'm going through that section really, really fast. Slide. And take a picture of this. I'm very visual. I like memes and I like charts because it's very visual for me, especially when I'm really playing a really big greatness game. So come out of agreement with your smallness and regain your power, your clarity, and your purpose. And when you take your agreement back from let's say you were in agreement that you could only make $100,000 a year. That was like an old money narrative. It's a smallness game that was really from your childhood. And it was a smallness belief. You know what? I challenge you to come out of that, take that agreement back, come out of agreement with that. Just like, take it back. I don't agree with that anymore. That is not my truth. My agreement is going to go in a greatness statement like, I can make $200,000 a year. I can make $1 million a year. So that's how you take your agreement back from those messages that are keeping you small and limited. Okay, slide. You are always winning the game you are playing. So if I said, what is your debt game right now? And you said, I don't know. Or if I said, what is your health game right now? And you say, I don't know. What's your business game right now? I don't know. You are winning the I don't know game. We're always winning the game we're playing. So let's make them greatness games. I'm clear in my money game. I'm clear in my health game. I'm clear in my fun game. I have a fun game because I told you fun is one of my values. I incorporate fun into my business and in my life. Like, no kidding, you guys. Like, it's in my calendar first and foremost. I take real ownership about fun and play being in my life. So clarity moves the train. I want to share with you a few greatness games. So these 4 people, stay back, go back. These 4 people are clients. They're actually my only Arizona clients. And ironically, I don't know how this happened, all of them are in the home industry. So Lindsay Cullum, she is one of the owners of Cullum Homes, Tim McBride, realtor, Stacy Krolak, realtor, and Sheila Lynham, she is a partner at Homework Remodels. And what I can tell you is all 4 of these people are very clear in the games they are playing, in their revenue, in their marketing, in their leadership, in their debt, in their self-care. I do not work with people unless they are willing to be on a self-care plan, which we're going to get to next. It's crucial to our power and our energy and our clarity and our leadership. It's how we play really big and not get exhausted and implode. So what I can tell you is these 4 people are having literally huge years this year because they know the games they're playing and their clarity moves the train. So when when COVID hit, although devastating, they had clear goals. They knew the games they were playing. They actually dug in closer into their focus. Slide. And I know my daughter said the other day, Mom, you always say clarity moves the train. Like, it is my saying, because there is very little that I know is so true than this. Confusion derails the train. If you're trying to get a hold of your money and be really empowered around your money in your personal life, you got to have clarity. What does that look like? What does the plan look like? What does the getting out of debt plan look like? What does your spending look like? What does your budget look like? Clarity, clarity, clarity. That's how you're going to move that train and win that game. Does that make sense? Yes, in chat? No? Be honest if it's a no, because I'm trying to be intentional, but I don't want to go so fast that I lose you. So clarity, when we get clear in our games, we got to get that clarity and that focus, because confusion derails us. I'll give you a little tip. If you are confused, if you are derailed, what I want you to ask yourself is, what do I need to know? What do I need to get clear on to get back on track? Because when we're over here derailed and confused, it's the clarity that gets us back on track, and then we can move again. So ask yourself, what do I need to get clear in to get back on track? And then you can get the train moving. It is a hard concept. It's a big concept, but let me just read that hard part. Yeah, that's the hard part. Yes. So what I encourage you to do is choose one game that matters to you. It might be a home, it might not be your business. It might be a health game. It might be a mental health game. It might be a family game. One of the biggest things that COVID did for us is we saw this as an opportunity to connect as a family. We've done more family things, camping, trips, board games, forts in our living room. And I said, you know what, as long as COVID is here, we're going to make the best out of it. We're going to make memories, and we got a puppy, and that is a whole nother thing. But we came together as a family, and we made the best of it, and we're creating games out of it. Maybe that's the one game that you need to focus on right now. Maybe it's in your team. Maybe your team is disconnected and discombobulated, and you need to get more clarity around your team, more team training, team building, what that looks like. I think a lot of people got COVID puppies. He is such a blessing. Oh my gosh. I want to post about him all the time because he's just so dang cute. But he's made COVID really, really fun. So let's move to the last piece of this. Next slide. And this comes from my own breakthrough in this. And that is, fall in love with taking care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. Don't wait to fall in love with the gym or the class or healthier eating. Fall in love with taking care of yourself. Even if you have to work out at home, it's like there's such satisfaction and pride when we have a self-care plan that we adhere to. So what does this look like? Next slide. So this is my self-care plan that I have for myself. I work every single day. All of my clients have this. And this is just a one-sheet chart. You can text the word greatness to 42828. So in the phone number, put 42828, and in the message, put greatness, and then I'll ask for your email. You'll get emailed this. So it's really, really important that you take care of yourself, and you are accountable for the daily things, weekly things, and monthly things that fuel your mind, body, and spirit. No one, you can't delegate that, right? We can delegate a lot of things as business owners, as leaders, but what's really, really important is you take care of yourself. And this is why, to play greatness games, to elevate your marketing, elevate your sales, elevate your impact, elevate your leadership, and show up in big ways, you got to have fuel. You got to have power. You got to have energy. That doesn't just show up, as we know, as we get older, right? I'm like one birthday away from 50, and I can just feel my energy. I mean, every 5 years, just take that dive. We've got to fuel ourselves. So this chart is blank, and you put your daily stuff, your weekly stuff, and your monthly stuff there on your left, and then you tick it off as you do it. And the key piece of this is accountability. So I encourage you, print these out for your team, or buddy up with someone from this group. Get some kind of accountability partner that says, are you winning your self-care plan today or this week? It's really, really important. So that is going to change your game, because you're going to have more fuel and power for your greatness games. All right, so you guys know how to print that out. I want to just say, so do me a favor in the chat, rate your energy, like how energetic you are, how fueled and energetic you are. 1 is like, I'm really, really exhausted and tired, and 10 being like, I'm unbelievable and feel healthy and powerful. 1 to 10. 6, good. 8, 5. Good, 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 good. Awesome. Good. So what I find is when people are playing really big games, they are taking care of themselves. You look behind the curtain and they're getting enough sleep. They're eating healthy, right? They're moving their body. They're doing things for their spirit. They're doing things for their minds. One of the things that I want to just read here. So this is my book. It's on Amazon. It's only $10. I made it small so people can give them as gifts for your team. Everybody can start playing greatness games. I want to read this to you as we wrap up. Don't just create a company. Build a great company. Win this greatness game by leading your business from your greatness every day. When you make mistakes, forgive yourself quickly. Don't stay in that shame and all that stuff. Don't let smallness convince you that you are not able, not enough, not right, or not a good leader. Get recentered and start moving the train again. There will be smallness opportunities to get derailed, especially when you're playing big. That's why it's important to have grace with yourself. Having greatness games, especially in this creating new normal and COVID and uncertainty, have grace with yourself. It's new practices. Slide. So to wrap up, slide. To wrap up, 3 things that you can do to take action. Break up with your past by grabbing those lessons and start intentionally creating new greatness futures. Know the game that you're playing each day. And like I said, maybe it's just one game that you're focusing on right now, right? So that you don't go into overwhelm. 2, identify, catch, and delete that smallness messages. All the PDF OD that's coming, be committed. It takes self-discipline to hold yourself accountable to the big dreams and the greatness games and start to turn down that smallness. So the smallness is holding you back from big dreams, big courage, and big results in your life and business. And 3, get my self-care plan, print it out, fill it out, schedule it. Success is scheduled. Next slide. These are the ways. Please take a picture of this so you know how to contact me. my book. I wrote my book in a way where it's like you have a little coach on your shoulder, and that's only $10. So you got tons of greatness. It will help you stay accountable. Also, Stacy Krolak, myself, and Calm Homes, we are hosting a private wine and cheese party in November. If you want an invite to that, just email me, Dena at Dena Patton, with the word invite in there, and we will be sure to invite you when we get those done. And then any information on my training and coaching is on my website. And then please connect with me on social media. So next slide is question and answer. I know I went fast. I know I gave you a lot of content, and I am in the roundtable a little bit later, so you can use that time too. But what is the text code? 42828 was the phone number on that. Let me just 42828. And the word is greatness. So what questions can I ask? And just timing wise, Cindy, what's our time?
We're due for a break here shortly, Dena. So I would say, you know, we could take maybe 1 or 2 questions for now, okay. But we could go ahead and start the break, and those who want to continue to ask can do that as well.
Wonderful.
So I'm going to suggest you guys that we go ahead and set up the break so you guys can go freshen your coffee and powder your nose, so to speak. And we're going to be back here in 10 minutes to start our Building Your Brand panel. So